What is up, guys? It's the homie Bigg Vic. We back in here with another video. Today, I'm checking out some more contracts, but I got a quick question for you. If you're currently running Amazon Relay, drop down below in the comments if you will be running the contracts that are in your market, or will you just be hanging out, watching the load board and just kind of picking loads from off the load board that you see during peak season. So I think right now, you kind of may have a little head start on peak season by me, kind of like I'm just judging by what I'm seeing on these contracts right now. So let's jump right in and start looking at the contracts. Again, I think Pittsburgh is in the lead right now from what I've been seeing. Now, I've never personally ran the Pittsburgh market, but my driver was in that market before, and I heard it's kind of hilly in some parts of Pennsylvania, where Amazon runs these post office routes. And so if you run the Pittsburgh market, let me know down below in the comments if how those contracts are. Is it really hilly out there? And what's been your experience running them out there? So as we look right now, we see Pittsburgh, PA, December 7th through the 13th. That contract is running $7.59 a block. Minneapolis has jumped up a little bit to $7.58 a block. Pittsburgh, PA again, $7.56. That's December 7th through the 20th. Pittsburgh, PA again, November 30th through the 13th, $7.54 a block. $7.53 a block. Well, I might need to put somebody in Pittsburgh. I ain't lying. I'm serious. I may need to put somebody in the truck in Pittsburgh, and we run them contracts out there. I'm keeping it real with y'all. Minneapolis, $7.50. Not bad. 2 weeks, $7,500. It's not bad. Minneapolis, $7.43. Pittsburgh again. Atlanta, $6.55. It went up some more. $6.55. December 14th through the 20th. December 7th through the 20th, $6.54 a block. That's a 2-week contract right there. I seen something earlier. What was it? This one right here, Minneapolis. It's a 5-week contract. I personally don't run the 5-week contracts, but if you're someone that has that's in that Minneapolis market and you have drivers, then I don't think $6.86 a block would be too bad for a 5-week contract. That's $17,150 plus fuel surcharges. Now, that Minneapolis market, Amazon gonna run that truck. You are definitely going to run that truck. I've been out there training a mentee in that Minneapolis market, and yeah, we did some stretches out there. We did some stretches. And we were running a contract. So we did a 1-week contract out there. So I'm familiar with that market. And it wasn't as cold as I thought it would be. It wasn't really that cold. It was a little chilly, but it wasn't that cold as it normally is out there in that market. It was a little brisk, but not super like freezing. So Boston, Massachusetts, $6.32 a block. That's not bad. $31.60 a week. Boston, Mass, again, December 7th through the 20th, a 2-week contract, $6.28 a block. That's $62.80 for 2 weeks. Atlanta, again, $6.15, November 16th through the 20th. So this is a 5-week contract with in Atlanta, $15,375 over 5 weeks. That's $6.15 a block. Midwest, Chicago. What up, Chi-Town? $6.11 a block right now. December 7th through the 13th. It's $3,055. $6.07, November 30th through the 13th. ATL again, $6.07, November 23rd through the 6th. So for those that are trying to get like a jump start on peak season and lock in contracts. Now, from last year, I want to say my experience booking contracts before peak season really kicked in, like early ahead of schedule, the contracts kind of started going up. Like right during that time, the contract started jumping. So I did book some loads that I was like, man, I should have waited. That did happen. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I'm feeling like it may still happen. So if you want to wait, you can, but I don't know. the rates that I'm seeing right now, it kind of looks like what the rates were last peak season. So it's a possibility that the rates could still spike up based on what I'm looking at right now. You know, when we get in the heart of peak season and that freight really start going crazy, I'm feeling like, yeah, these loads still might spike up if no one takes them as of right now. As a matter of fact, I would suggest not taking any right now, so the rates could jump up. But we know that's not gonna happen. We know somebody gonna jump on them contracts. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if I had a driver right this second, I would be putting them probably in Pittsburgh and locking in those rates right there. They probably gonna go up, but I probably still would lock those rates in just so I know that truck is covered, right? And it's kind of like the fear of loss. I got a little bit of FOMO when I see that particular rate right there. Got a little FOMO. For those that don't know, that's a fear of missing out. I think it's designed like that to kind of shake us up a little bit. Like, hey, you better get this contract or you might miss it. But if you plan on going or just watching the load board and booking your loads from off the relay load board during peak season, drop that down below in the comment section. All right, y'all. Cleveland, Ohio. Right now, $5.99 a block. That's November 30th through December 6th. So that's roughly slightly under $3,000. Charlotte, $5.98, $29.90. Last time I did a Charlotte contract, it was $700 something a block during peak season. Cleveland, Ohio, November 30th through the 13th, $5.98. Scroll. Seattle, Washington, right now, $5.88, December 14th through the 20th. That's a block. So that's $29.40 for the week. Again, Milwaukee, December 17th through the 13th, $5.88 a block. Charlotte, again, December 7th through the 20th, $5.88. Boston, Mass, Seattle, Milwaukee. Let's get to something we haven't seen. Columbia, South Carolina, $5.69 a block. That's $28.45. CAE1, again, Columbia, December 7th through the 13th, $5.68 a block. I feel like those are gonna go up, honestly. To me, that's pretty low for peak season. And this, like December 17th through December 13th, that's kind of pre-peak season. So I know the week after, I feel like that's gonna go up. If it sits, it's gonna go up. Detroit, Michigan, $5.65 a block. That's $28.25. December 14th through the 20th. Detroit again, the 7th through the 20th, a 2-week contract. $56.20 a block. $562 a block, which is $56.20 for 2 weeks. Chicago, 5-week contract, $560 a block, $14,000. Remember, all of these are plus your fuel surcharges. Okay, what else? Where else we at? Mobile, Alabama, $552 a block. That's $27.60, November 30th through December 6th. It's a 1-week contract. All right, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is $548 a block. That's a 2-week contract for Memphis, December 7th through the 20th. $548 a block. Definitely higher than it was last year around this time when I was looking at the Memphis contracts. Then we have Portland. All right, let me scroll back up. Portland, Oregon. I got Richmond in there. I think I'm scrolling too fast. Got Richmond. It's $508 a block, 2-week contract. It's November 30th through the 13th. Raleigh, Durham, $507 a block. It's a 5-week contract for that market. $507 a block. Richmond, Virginia, again, November 30th through the 6th of December. $507 a block. And then we have Jacksonville, Florida, $504 a block. 5-week contract, $12,600. I'm not too familiar with the landscape out there as far as how far relay sends your truck out. Portland, Oregon. Somebody asked me about Portland, so I added this one this time. Right now, Portland is 504 a block, 25.20 for the week, December 7th through the 13th. Charlotte, December 14th through December 27th, 2-week contract, 504 a block. That is extremely low. Me personally, I would not run that block. I wouldn't run that contract at all. No. No, 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 no. All right. Detroit. Let's see. We did Detroit already. Jacksonville. BDL, Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Right now it's 501 a block. This is a 5-week contract, November 16th through December 20th. $12,525. Nashville, 498 a block. It's a 5-week contract for Nashville. And that's $12,450 for 5 weeks, plus fuel surcharges. Okay, let's go to 3. Columbus, Ohio, 437 a block for a 1-week contract. Seattle, Washington, 437 a block, December 21st through December 27th. See if I missed anything up here. Nope. Let's go page 4. Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, November 23rd through November 29th, a 1-week contract, 364 a block. That is low. That is low. Not sure what's going on in the Dallas Fort Worth market, but that rate is low. 364 a block. Well, 371 for a 5-week contract in Dallas Fort Worth, that market. And that's $9,275 for 5 weeks. That would be a no for me, definitely. I do have Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, 374 a block, November 9th through December 13th. That's also a 5-week contract. $9,350. Houston, Texas. I did have that up there. Houston, Texas, 1-week contract, 377 a block. 377 a block. That's kind of ugly. That's kind of ugly. Let me scroll back down. And they just get lower from there. They get lower from there. Miami, Florida, 300 a block, 5-week contract, $7,500. No, sir. No, sir. But I can't speak for your company. You may be comfortable with a rate like that. You got paid for equipment. You got a driver. I don't know what you're paying your driver, but yeah. If I'm gonna work my truck, it's definitely gonna be for more money than that. Absolutely. And this is kind of like what the rates are looking like right now. They were again Miami, Florida, December 21st through December 27th, $168 a block. That literally tells me there is not much going on with relay in that Miami, Florida market. And that's very similar to the spot market when people run freight into Florida or loads into Florida, period. It's a very, very, very tough market. And so you have to go into that market getting a nice bag in order to be able to get up out of there with some decent money, right? Halfway decent. And so, yeah, these are what the loads are looking like, you guys. If you plan on running relay during peak season, let me know down below in the comments. Are you gonna be running contracts, or are you or are you gonna be looking at the load board to book your freight? Drop it down below in the comment section. I know some people love just running off the spot market and catching freight from there, maybe getting the phone calls, depending on what your score looks like. As of right now, if you try to go to DAT load board and book the loads that are on Amazon Relay, that Amazon Relay puts up there, Amazon Relay Dispatch, if your score is not an A or a B, as of now, they're not even letting you book those loads that appear on the DAT load board last minute loads. So if you don't have an A or B, they may turn you down if you call and try to book one of those. That's like the latest news I've been getting from guys that have been using DAT, to book some of their Amazon freight. And if their scores are not looking good, they can't book it. They're saying, no, your score is not high enough. So that's also something that's been happening. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Drop your comments down below. If you like this video, smash that thumbs up button. Once again, it's Tommy Bigg Vic TV. You already know what it is. Always hustle. Never stop growing. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's eat, baby.